Hi guys, welcome back. My name is Olive, and if you are new in data analytics, if you're just starting out or if you've started out not quite long ago, this is definitely the best place for you to be because I drop data nuggets every other week, just to help us get around everything on data analytics. Right. If this is the first time you're hearing my voice, do well to hit the subscribe button, like, share the video, comment on the next thing you would want me to work on, and I'll definitely consider that. So today we're talking on data normalization. I'm also going to be doing quite the practical in order to show you what I mean by data normalization. It is a process of organizing and cleansing your data to make it consistent, structured, and ready for analytics. All right. And this normalization is very important because it helps you avoid repetition, it ensures consistency, and it makes our analysis easier, especially like when you have loads and loads and loads of data sets and there are repetitions over and over again. It impedes the performance. When you normalize your data, you just make analysis a lot easier for you. Okay, so I'm just going to come here to enter data. So we're just going to put in like 20 rows of data sets. So you're going to see what it does look like. Now, if you take a good look at this, you're going to understand what I mean by repetition. Can you see Mr. Smith is coming up almost every other time? Can you see Mr. Smith, Mr. Smith, Mr. Smith? This repetition is not all right. Look at math, math, math. So this is more like what? Fact table. So let us we are going to what? Normalize this data set now. So let me just bring up this picture so you understand. Now, this is a picture of a wardrobe or a closet, right? And you can see the way everything is placed where they are supposed to be. You can see the bags have their parts, the white shirts have their parts, the shoes have their parts, the gift boxes have their parts. That is the way it is supposed to be when it comes to data set. Every other one is supposed to have what? Their parts or their table. So it makes analysis easier. So let us go work on normalizing this particular data in Power Query. So let's just go ahead and start it. So hit the edit button, and this will take us to our Power Query editor. Now, this is our table. So for starters, let's just name this table school data sets. Or school info. Yeah, let's put it that way. So now we have our school information. Come here. Then use first row as headers. Yes, we're going to. Okay, so we don't need all those column, 1, 2, 3, and whatnot. So we have used first row as headers, and these appropriate headers have been used for our data set. Now, the next thing we want to do is we want to have something called the students table and the class table. All right. So in order to do that, you're going to come here to the school info, right click it, and you're going to see where we can duplicate. And because we want to have two more tables, which is the student table as well as the class table, we're going to duplicate it twice. Okay. So this is the right. So now for this one, we're just going to name it what? Student table. And this third one, we're going to name it class table. So now, for the student table, what we need here is the student ID, which is more like the unique ID that is used to identify every child or every student in this school, right? So we need the student ID. We obviously need the student name. And we need the classes these students are taking. So we're going to leave this 1, 2, 3 in here. Remember, you're doing this for the student table, not for the school info. The school info is like the fact table now, and it's going to house every single thing. So for the student table, we're just going to have 1, 2, which is the name, and 3, which is the class. So hold your control key. I'm going to choose my student ID. I'm going to choose my student's name, and I've already chosen the class. So you're just going to hit your, you're going to right click. When you right click, you will see remove columns. You're not going to remove columns, because if you click remove columns, you're removing the columns you have selected. But if you click remove other columns, it means you're removing the ones you did not select, which in this case is the class ID, the teacher, and the teacher email. So let's remove other columns. And as you can see right now, we have what? The class, the student ID, and the name right here for us. So our students table is done. Now let's go back to the class table. Now you can see we don't need this student ID now, because this particular table, we have kept it out for just class. So for this class table, we're going to obviously remove the student ID. So click on it, use your control key. We're going to remove the student ID and the name. Okay, so for that, we're also going to right click, and we're going to do what? Remove columns. Now we're removing the columns we have selected. So right now, we have the class ID, we have the class, we have the teacher taking it, and we have the what? Teacher's email. Now, if you take a look at this, you're going to see quite the repetition. 0001, C001, C001, a lot is, we are seeing a lot of C001. We have to remove it, okay? So if you take a look at this now, let's come to this arrow here and see we have just 4 unique IDs, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. And this 4 is repeated over and over again within these 20 rows. And it's just the same 4 people, which is C001 belonging to Mr. Smith, who teaches math, and this is his email. 002 belonging to Miss Brown, who teaches science, and this is her email. So we don't need all of this. So what we are going to do is we're going to come here, right? Look at where we are. We're going to come here, hit on this tiny arrow, and come to what? Remove duplicates. Okay? So let's hit that. And when you see that we have removed duplicates, you can see we have just C001, 002, 003, and 004. And this just shows that we have math, science, English, and history for these teachers. And these teachers take these classes, and these are the teachers' what? Email. So you can see that every form of duplicate has been removed. You have actually normalized this table. So the same thing goes for students, but here we're not going to remove any duplicates, because there are hardly any duplicates, right? So this is how you normalize your table. So now that we are done normalizing, we're just going to come here, close and apply, and then we're going to go into our data modeling view and model this data, because it's a different thing for you to just normalize. But once you're done normalizing, make sure you model that. So go to your model view, and Power BI already creates some form of relationship for you in your model view. Even before you come to do that, they create some form of relationship for you. So if you come here, you look, you can see that relationship has been created between the student table and the school info. The school info here is serving as the fact table. So you will see that they've created a relationship between the student ID in the student table and the student ID in the school table. So if you look here, you will see that they've created a relationship in the student table with the student ID, as well as the student info table with the student ID. If you also come to the class table, you will see that relationship has been created on the class ID, right? Anytime you see these broken lines, you will see that the relationship is not active, because mostly we're just going to be dealing with student table and this, class table and this. All right. So this is how you normalize your data to get a beautiful result and performance for your analysis. Okay. So I hope you have been able to understand what data normalization is and why it is important, and most importantly, how you can what normalize your data. I'm going to see you in the next video.